Hi guys, this is MG. I'm back again. Told you I'll be leaving for Denver, and I thought, well, I'm gonna be out of here pretty quick. I thought maybe I can quickly, maybe I can just put one little lesson together just for fun for you guys. Okay, so here's what I want to talk with you about. Quick review. We talked about some things. I hope you remember this. If you don't, you need to be paying more attention, and you need to actually probably look at the video again that I just did and maybe do some more examples. Mom and Dad, hopefully you're giving them examples of these things. If you remember, we had a number 3, and we said that's a constant. What is 3 today? 3. What's 3 tomorrow? What will 3 be tomorrow? 3. It's always going to be 3. Way back in the day, it was 3. And then we have a letter like A. And we called A's what? We called them variables. These are constants, and these are variables. Why? Variable. Why do we call this a variable? Because today, A equals, 7. And in about 10 minutes, A might equal 7,000. And it's going to vary. It's going to vary. Sometimes we put these side by side, and we have like 3A. And when we have that, it's called an, you should remember this, an expression. Okay? It's an expression. But when we have an expression, there's two things that one thing will be a review, one thing will be new. So 3A, when we have those, we need to remember that this 3 is no longer called a constant. You go, well, it was a constant. Right, when it's not attached to an A. And so then we call it a coefficient. Coefficient. I don't know if you can read my writing, but you get the point. I'm a math guy, not a writing guy. Should have good, neat handwriting, though. Okay, so we have 3A. And now this is the new thing I want you to know. And we're going to come to this, and you're going to need to remember this, but I want you to remember this. 3A is really saying 3 times A. So if we want, get rid of the extraneous items here. This right here, it's like it has a times right there. 3 times A. Can you see that? Is that too small? You want me to make it bigger? Okay, I can make it bigger. So let's do this. 3A. That's big. So 3A, and it really kind of has a times right in there. Okay? We don't write the times, but it exists. Do you remember, have you seen this before? Like, let's say we were saying, what's 5 times 7, okay? Here, let me switch colors. So if we said 5 times 7 equals, you better know the answer, 35. By the way, if you don't know times tables, you are going to have a tough time. If you don't know times tables, you need to go back and review. I'll tell you what, you want to see if you know times tables? All right, tell me if you know the answers to this. What's 6 times 7? Okay, what's 7 times 7? What's 7 times 8? What's 8 times 8? What's 7 times 8? What's 8 times 6? If you don't know all of those and you weren't able to do it just like that with me, then you don't know those. And you need to spend time doing that. I promise you, if you don't know that, it's going to be a really tough time for you. So, Mom and Dad, test them. Make sure they know that. If they don't, people say, well, how should I teach them? You know, they go, well, I used to do it like drill and kill. Do it drill and kill. It does not matter. Just boom, boom, boom. You got to get it down. I mean, I know they make songs, they make all this other stuff. Just learn it. They got to learn it. So, okay, that was a side note. But with this right here, we have to remember that's 3A. Now, going back to one of the other things, if we have 7 and we're going to go times 8, what would I write in there? If I want to say 7 times, oh, can you see that? 7 times 8. What will we put between the 7 and the 8? You're saying an X. Do you remember? Some of your teachers should have done this. Sometimes they'll put a dot in there. Do you remember that? And they'll say 7 times 8. You can use an X or you can use a dot. Either one. All right. Now, so with this right here, that 3A, if you think about it having a tiny little dot, can you see that tiny little dot? Probably. But if you think of it like that and think they just did, the dot's so small I can't see it. So 3A is 3 times A. All right? Remember that. Now, that said, what does A equal? I don't know, let's say it equals 4. So A equals 4. A equals 4. Okay? So 3 times 8, what does A equal? 4. So I'll show you the mistake people make, and I'll show you how to get it right. What do you want to see first? Okay, I'll show you how to get it right first. So we said this means times, right? Right in there. So this is saying 3 times, what's A equal? Oh, A equals 4. That's right, A equals 4. So 4, what's 3 times 4? You better know the answer. 12. Okay, there you go. All right? Now, what's the mistake people make? Like if you were doing this on a multiple choice exam, obviously one of the right answers would be 3 times 4 equals 12, right? I mean, because that's the right answer. What mistakes do you think kids might make? I bet one of you said it, or at least thought of it in your head. So if I said, what's 3 times A? Some kid might go, well, 4 is A, so I bet the answer is 34. What did they do wrong? They forgot to multiply them, because 3A really means 3 times A, okay? This is all related to expressions. This is important stuff. Now, let's do this. Remember when I was showing you about exponents? Do you remember that? I was showing you about exponents. You want me to switch colors? Okay. Purple. Anyone like purple? I think Mia might like purple. When I was showing you about exponents, I said sometimes you'll get like a to the second power. And I said also they call that a squared. Sounds cooler too. It's fun to say. And so a squared. Well, what does a equal? Do we know? Yesterday it was 7. Tomorrow it's going to be 48. What do we say it is today? Let's say it's 3. A equals 3. So what that means is whenever I see an A, I'm going to turn it into a 3. So rather than saying A squared, I'm going to say 3 squared. Okay? 3 squared. Would you agree? We said A equals 3, so 3 squared. All right. What is 3 squared? This is the classic place where people make mistakes. Classic place. Okay. What does squared mean? What does to the second power mean? It means if we have something to the second power, we say this number, whatever it is, times the same number. If we say what is 5 to the third power, we'd say 5, third power, right? 5 times 5 times 5, okay? What if we had 7 to the 14th power? Would that be 7 times 7 times 7 times 7, bing, right? And so we'd say 7 times 7 times 7, and we keep going on, right? So we have to remember, if we're going to say 3 to the second power, it means what? 3 times 3, and how many times do we do it? 3 to the second power, 2 times. So this would mean 3, how many times are we going to multiply it times itself? 3 times 3. I'm going to write it out. Why? You know why I write stuff out? You're going to see that I write a lot of stuff out. And the reason why is I don't want to make a mistake. I can improve my success. This is like legal cheating. I can improve my success just by writing out each step. A lot of kids want to skip steps. You can even do it for a little bit, and then you can't do it. And then you try to figure out how to do it, and you haven't been doing it, and you end up having problems. Write out each step. I get it. You hate it. I hated it. Everyone hates it. But you will absolutely get it right. Even today as an adult, even as a guy who's taught for a long time, when I'm doing problems, I have to work them out. I always write out each step, and you know what? I don't get them wrong. Amazing. So, legal cheating. So, we said this means what? 3, this right here, means 3 times itself 2 times. So that means 3 times itself. How many times do we do it? 1, 2. What's 3 times 3? 9, right? Easy peasy, right? 3 times 3 is 9. What do you suppose the mistake people will make is with this? Do you know? I bet some of you are already saying it. I'm trying to find a pen over here. So I'm trying to find my red pen. I can't find my red. Oh, here it is. Hang on. I'm down here. Hang on. Here it is. Don't worry. You'll be okay. So I'll show you the mistake people make. Let's go ahead and erase some of this stuff. Where I'm going to keep my 3 squared. I'm just going to write it up here. 3 squared, right? And we know that means 3 times 3 equals, this equals really 3 times 3, and our correct answer is 9, right? There's our correct answer. The mistake kids make is this. Don't make this mistake. They go, oh, 3 squared. And they think 3 times 2 is 6. Is that right? No, that is wrong. It's wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's a trap. When you're taking multiple choice tests, I can guarantee you one of the answers is going to be 9 because it's the right answer. And the other one they're going to put down as a false answer, an inaccurate answer, a wrong answer, is going to be 6. Why? Because they know some kid is going to go 3 times 2. What do you suppose another wrong answer would be? I mean, if you had to write a multiple choice test, what would you say? What's another answer people might guess? Well, what about this? What if they said 3 plus 2, right? And so, whoops. And so they would say the answer is 5, right? They go 3 plus 2. Is that right? No, that's wrong as well. So, no, when you're taking these multiple choice tests, it isn't like you can guess your way through it. You can't, because we could see how this would make sense. We could see how this would make sense, right? But they're wrong. So you need to know what it is. 3 squared means 3 times 3. Now, one of you one day is going to end up going, oh, that's right. He told me. That's right. I did tell you. So, all right. So that talks a little bit about that. Now, I'm going to do another example here. By the way, you know why you do a bunch of examples? So you get it. If you do it once and you see it once, you're not going to get it. When you think about a test, all right? So when I'm showing you this stuff in class, is this pretty easy? How easy is this? Is it like this easy? Okay, when you go to do your homework, is the homework easier? No, it's harder, right? Not a lot harder. Maybe it is a lot harder. But it's harder. When you take the test, it's this hard. So if you're trying to go from here to here, you're not going to do well. You're going to not pass your test. And a lot of people are like, I have test anxiety. Well, the truth is, kids that know the answers don't have test anxiety. The reason why they get anxious is because they don't know how to do it. And so if you're here and you're not practicing your homework, you're not going to be able to do this very well. Here's an example. I'm going to give you a test. Ready? What's 3 plus 2? 5. Were you nervous? Did that scare you? No, because you knew the answer. But if I said, what's the square root of a negative 9? You're going to go, wait, negative 9? Square root of 9, I know that. Negative 9? Is there an answer? Yes, there is. We'll get that way down the road. But anyway, I know some of you are going like, what? Yes, there really is. Okay, you want to know the answer is 3i. So, because it's an imaginary number. That's way beyond. But anyway, so I want to give you another example here. So if we were to take 2 to the 4th power, 2 to the 4th power, what does this mean? Does this mean 2 times 4? Everyone says no, right? Does this mean 2 plus 4? No. What does this mean? This means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? And some of you are like, I remember that. Don't worry, I'm getting somewhere with this. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 2 times 4 is 8. And then 2 times 8 is 16, right? Did I really know that? Yes, I really knew that. But, so we have 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. That's our answer. Now, again, when we think about wrong answers, someone's going to go 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. They're going to put down 8. That would be a wrong answer. Someone's going to go 2 times 4, and they're going to go 8. That's a wrong answer. 2 plus, they're going to put down 6. That's a wrong answer. They might even put down 24. That's a wrong answer. You have to know how to solve this. This is true with everything if you're taking multiple choice tests. There's only one way to do it. You have to know it. Okay, so there we are. So now, what about if it's variables? What about if it's variables? That's a different story. So if we have a b times b times b, what does that equal? So if we go back to exponents, if we remember, if we took 2 to the third power, also called 2 cubed, isn't that kind of fun? That really just means 2 times 2 times 2. That's all that means. Do you see any similarity here? 2 times 2 times 2, b times b times b. We said 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2. B times b times b. Well, it's still b. How many times do we do it? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. So there it is, okay? So this is really important to know. So when you see letters, don't let that freak you out. It's exactly the same. It's like using a number. We don't know what the number is, but they're just letters. So that's really, really important. Now, one more thing. I'm going to do some more variables here. So let's look at this. We have 2y plus 3y plus y. What does this equal? How many y's do we have in total? 2 y's plus 3 y's plus a y. Someone hands you a y and you say, thank you. They hand you 2 y's, you go, okay, I have 2 y's. And someone hands you 3 more, you have 5 y's. And then they hand you another one, you have 6 y's. What number is in front of that y? 1. Do we write it? No. Do we need to? No. Are we going to write it? No. So this equals 6y. All right. So now, how is the 6 and the y attached? Remember I told you, 6 and the y are attached through multiplication. It's like saying, you know, a lot of times we have the 6 and the y, they're side by side. We don't put the little times, we just put a dot. I'm pretty darn sure I told you that already. I hope I did. So, there's a little bit more about expressions, a little bit more about solving stuff. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing, and this is going to be kind of a hint as to what's coming up. This is like foreshadowing, right? When they show you this, you know, this person does this and that, and you go, oh, I bet they're going to do this with that other one. Yes. So this is what's coming up, all right? So, math is fair. You can pretty much do whatever you want. When you're looking at an equation, you can do whatever you want to one side as long as you do the same to the other. So, if we look at this, and we have 2 plus b equals 8. Now, some of you are smart enough to go, I know what the answer is, right? I mean, you could guess it. You could try, I could go 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3, 5. 5 equals 8. No, that's not it. 2 plus 4, 6. No, that isn't it. That is 2 plus 6, sorry. So we have 2 plus 6 equals 8. You go, well, great, that's easy. I just able to do it in my head. You can here, but you will not be able to when this stuff gets advanced. So you need to know, how do we actually do this? Well, with math, you can do whatever you want to one side of the equation as long as you do the same to the other. That's a rule that we have in math. So if I want, I can move this 2 over here. I can add 2 to both sides. I can subtract 2 from both sides, and it'll be the same answer every single time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, let's say I'm going to add 1, and I'm going to add 1. Can I do that? Yes, I can do that because we said math is fair. I can do whatever I want to one side as long as I do it to the other. We said that in this situation right here, b equals 6, right? Whoops, covered. There we are. B equals 6. What happens if I add 1 to both sides? Well, on this side, I would have 3 plus, I'm not adding anything under the b equals 9. 3 plus what equals 9? 6. How's that? I just added 1. I wonder what happens if I add 11. 11 to both sides. What would that be? Well, right here, we'd get 13 plus b, equals 19. Well, what's 13 plus 6? 13 plus 6 is 19. So I can do whatever I want here as long as I do the same to the other. Well, what if you subtracted? That's a good question. What if you subtracted 1 from both sides? Right here, 2 minus 1 is 1 plus b equals 7. 1 plus what equals 7? 6, right? My point is, you can see I can do whatever I want to one side as long as I do the same to the other. Math is fair. You give one person a cookie, you have to give the other person a cookie, right? And so I used all those examples, but I still had to guess at what the b was, didn't I? Like here, I still have to say 2 plus what? 5? No, 7? No, 6, right? I can do whatever I want to one side as long as I do the same to the other. Watch this. What if I subtract 2 and subtract 2? That's the same number. If I subtract 2 plus minus 2, I get 0. Plus b equals 6. Well, 0 plus b, I can get rid of this. It's just a 0, right? And I get b equals 6. I actually solved that problem. So the way I did it was I subtracted whatever this number was. This is the number that was a problem. I just wanted to know what b equaled, right? And so with this, I subtract that exact same number. This is critical. This is critical. This is where we're going next. If you want to be a good student and you want to do some legal cheating, start looking up a little bit about this. They call this solving for x or solving for the variable. So that's what we'll do another time. Okay, you guys, I hope that was fun. Well, I don't know if it's fun, but hopefully it's as good as it can be, and I hope it helps you. See you later.